That one's running. This one's running. Okay. Right. I think we're nearly there. Okay. All right, we can start now. Got everyone's here. So, welcome to the free webinar, Getting Into Your Flow in Life. I'm Nicolas, man at the Centre for Conscious Ascension. So, this, thanks, Sean. Yeah, this webinar is all about clearing blockages we all have to getting into our flow in life. And I'd like to hear a little bit, just briefly, from the guys on the video. What brought you here? What you'd like from this? Just gives me a feel, and it sort of sets the energy, then I can flow the webinar in whatever direction you want. So just say your name, where you are, and just briefly what brought you here, and what's your intention for the webinar? What would you like from this? Jonathan, do you want to start?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jonathan. I started something middle of last year that was flowing really well, and it just stopped. I got stuck. And I really believed in what I was doing. I had a lot of faith, and I just got stuck. I was just the one here for, just to unstick something that seemed to be where I was heading.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right. Chrissy, do you want to go next? Just unmute yourself.
Yeah, hello again. You can see me now. You can
see me. You're clear now. Yeah.
So, well, Yasmin, in fact, introduced me to your book and your website, and which I find fascinating. And I'm also thinking about doing the training. I work with energy as a Reiki practitioner, and I feel like I'm at a crossroads in my life at the moment, and obviously clearing blocks will help me get a better idea of, you know, what my next steps are, I feel. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Con.
G'day, Nicholas. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I came here because, look, I'm not quite certain. Seems to have been drawn here. I came across your book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, and I've followed ever since. So I'm not sure really why I'm here. I know I need to be here. So I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens.
Okay, look forward to it. Okay, thank you. Okay. Sean, what brought you here?
Hello. I think I'm here to...
You have to turn your speakers down. We're getting feedback. So I'll put a headphones in. It will be better if you got some.
Okay, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Actually, we'll just wait for Sean. So, Irene, do you want to say why you're here, while Sean finds his headset?
I'm here because I have some block to resolve, but I'm not sure what it is about. So I'm just trying, you know, I had the reading with you, so I know I have something to work on. So I'm trying to see what the result will be.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Okay, thank you. Yasmin, what brought you here?
Yeah.
So
yes, okay, yeah. Normally, first of all, I came across with your book, and I've been very impressed by it, and it's been really a great guidance for me. And in general, in my life, I have a very nice flow, and everything goes fine, and I can understand and relate myself with things. The only thing I can't resolve is the relationship
Yeah.
and the love, and I don't know what is blocking that. So I'm
Right.
just looking for. I'm just trying to understand why, I can't get this into flow. What is blocking that? And
Okay.
maybe some healing.
All right. We'll see what we can do. Thank you. All right. Sean, I had to mute you because of the feedback, so yeah, go for it. We're still getting some. You might have to check your microphone setting.
Nina, can you hear now?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, that was Nina. She was sitting on the sofa with me, so I'm blaming her.
I think it's because you got two. You're both. So Mina, you have to turn your speakers off. You have to have a headset, Mina, because you can feedback from your speakers going to Sean's microphone.
Right.
Is that what's happening? Yeah, you need to get a headset and turn your speakers off.
Right. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here because Breach Hanlon suggested that we should tune in to learn more information about how to have energy free slowly at all times. Because I've managed to be in that space, and then I kind of come unstuck. I'm not able to analyze what it is that causes the blockages.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we can do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just mute you. Okay. So let's have a look here. Katie.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, real clear. Yeah.
Okay. So part of the reason I'm here is just interest in your work. I saw you on Gaia TV and bought your book, and so part of it is interest. And then the other part of it, similar to everyone else, that there's a lot of things that are flowing very well in my life, but in the area of work, that's where I feel like I don't have a very strong sense of direction. And I keep struggling, and that word stuck comes up for me a lot, feeling stuck a little bit. So that's why.
Okay, thank you. All right. Mina, do you want to have a go now? I've unmuted you. Try now. Can't quite hear you yet.
Well, what I'll do, I'm going to go over to...
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. No, I can hear you. I can hear you now. Whatever you did worked.
Okay, is that okay?
That's fine. We can hear you now. Go for it.
Okay, hi, how are you? I guess the reasons why I'm here really is because I've been recommended to try this out. I'm interested in taking the weekend course, but I wanted to just see what this was all about. Recommended by Bree Chanlin. It's been a wonderful couple of years of training, and I've been a Reiki healer for about 20 years, and I've been doing the bioenergy healing courses, but I guess I'm still trying to figure some things out, and I have some big changes in my life, so here I am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start. And you guys who haven't got your video on, if you want to make any comments or say anything, just put it in the chat, okay, and I'll pick it up here as well, okay? Okay, so a few more people have joined us. Just a minute, I just got to join them to the webinar. Just a sec. So you guys have just joined. If you want to switch your video on, only if you want to, then we can see you, okay? It's up to you. Hi, Sarah and Claudia. Okay. Claudia, do you want to say, do you want to just introduce yourself and say why you're here, what you'd like? You have to go bottom left, but to unmute you.
There we go.
Yeah, try now. It's real clear.
Okay. I'm Claudia. I'm from Chicago. And I can't remember what led me to your book. It was very synchronistic, but I absolutely loved it. And then once I found your book, I found you on Gaia and watched it like a gabillion times so I can understand what I was reading and doing. And I've shared it with some of my girlfriends who are very big into energy. And I'm just kind of on a hamster wheel of life right now. And I get a lot of signs asking me to do stuff, but I'm also I'm in a spot where I can't really go anywhere. So I'm just trying to figure things out, go with the flow. I tried to go onto your last meeting, but I missed it. And I have to say, I absolutely love your work. It's the only thing that's ever made sense to me. And it's really easy to follow. And I absolutely love it. So I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Sarah, are you able to talk there? Or are you at work or somewhere?
I'm at the library.
Library, okay.
I just saw the email and signed up right away. I didn't even read exactly beyond healing as to what this is going to be about. So I'm a little bit late. I had some trouble logging in. And I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be asking, but I'm here.
Okay, that's the best thing. Okay, thank you. You'll find out what it's about soon.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to say hello? Why are you here?
Hi. Well, yeah, I've been following your work for a while, I guess now. Yeah, I think what brings me here is I have a following with the Course in Miracles, and I think it leads me every day, and yet I don't seem to how can I say, I just feel like my life is always one of waiting, and I sometimes think it's because there's like that perception of disconnection from the source, like a feeling that we're not connected, which, well, we know we are, but sort of because we've got individual will, and maybe the feeling of waiting will not be fulfilled until I leave this earth and go home, or perhaps it's that I'm not living my destiny, and that's the thing that kind of keeps me going, is perhaps I'm not living my destiny, or perhaps it's just one of those time and mind things, where your mind's just going to keep saying that because it's never satisfied. So I just quite like to follow this and see where it takes me. And at the moment I'm working with Zdenka, that you put me in touch with as well, which is really good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see what we can do about reconnection, because this is actually a lot of what it's about. Okay, so I'm going to switch on the presentation now. So what will happen is that all the webcams will go to the right in the vertical strip. Okay. If you want to scroll up and down the webcams, these little, just roll your mouse at the top or the bottom, and you'll see a little chevron will come up, so you can see the other people. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. So getting into your flow in life with divine healing. So we'd all like to have a bit more flow, as some of you have expressed. And I used to feel very left behind by life. I thought everyone was ahead of me all the time, especially when I was younger. And I couldn't figure out why, really. And it was because I carried a lot of abandonment and emotional blocks about being in the flow. And it's just sort of, we all carry this to a greater or lesser degree. We feel abandoned by Great Spirit, God, all it is, whatever you want it is. Someone's got their microphone on. Can you? Someone's got their microphone on there. Can you mute? Thanks. Hang on, one more person there. Yeah. So the key to getting into the flow is actually to connect with the feeling of being abandoned by God by coming into a body. That's essentially what this webinar is about. And that abandonment can take on many different forms, and usually we can't feel the abandonment, but we see it playing out in our lives, like life's not flowing. My life has been a real struggle just to get anything done in its initial years, because I hadn't realized just how abandoned I did feel by Great Spirit of God, because I'd numbed myself out. And so the idea here is to use divine healing to actually create a feeling of being more connected, stable, and secure. Because when we reconnect to higher consciousness, then life will flow. And most of what stops us moving forward is very hidden. It's very buried deep in the ego. And it's a mystery to us, and we try and think our way through and figure it out a lot of the time. I used to. But actually it's about feeling our way through this. So here's how we actually do that. So I mentioned the word divine healing. So, well, what is this? What is divine healing? It's, divine healing is a multidimensional healing system, and its purpose is to open to grace. By grace we mean just ease, things just flow in life. And it's been brought to us from Source, so that we can dismantle our human ego and the illusory life it creates, and go back to Source and consciousness. It's essentially what it is. And it's a very simple and quick and profound, accurate set of healing tools, which you can use on yourself or others. And it's designed to help us reconnect to spirit at all levels. And it's very much about empowering you to claim back your life, to move. Some of you have felt like life's done a lot of stuff to you, and you might have felt like a victim when you were younger of life because there's so much stuff came at you. Divine healing is designed to help you claim back your sovereignty, claim back your life. And ultimately it's really about achieving a very high state of consciousness, maybe even enlightenment if you really worked on yourself, which is where you have full ego dissolution. But I think just most of us would settle for just life flowing a bit better. So what can it actually do? So I'm going to talk a bit about divine healing and how it works to give you some background, but then we're actually going to go and do some and unblock some of the things that hopefully that you brought to this webinar. So what divine healing does is it's based on the principle of asking you shall receive, because your higher self, it designed you, designed the whole way you're built. And so because it did that, it can also just checking something over here, it can also dismantle this whole ego personality which is created for you. And so the purpose of divine healing is to really make your life happen the way you want it to happen, not just to move beyond dreams to actually manifesting what you want. And it helps you understand and transform the fundamental underlying program that creates your life in each moment. For those of you who've read my book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, or been exposed to soul contract reading, it basically dismantles all the ego programming created by the soul contract. And if you do that, your dreams can start to come true. And your vision, that precious thing we all hold, we have a vision of how we'd like our life to play out. You can actually start to live that vision if you clear enough of the emotional programming and the ego. And allows us to heal very deeply and completely and easily. Back in 2006, when our mirror Ariel Halea used to run the Center for Conscious Ascension with me, we were working together to find a healing tool that would clear our deep programming, because we were married at the time. It was a really heavy-duty disempowering program, which was really creating havoc in our marriage and our lives in general. So she'd been looking around, trying to find the right tools to do this, and she did find some useful ones. What happened was that, just to mute you, Rosemary, because I'm getting some background noise. What happened was that none of the teachers would teach her how to teach it, because she wanted to help other people by sharing this sort of work. So in the end, she developed this with a couple of other of our colleagues and friends who wanted to develop a very powerful tool for peeling the ego as quickly as possible. because we wanted to heal deeply, completely and easily, having had very challenging lives, and reconnect to our gifts and have more love and joy, because life hadn't had much of this at all up to that point. And we wanted to create flow and mastery in our lives. And so I'd say 12 years on, we're pretty much doing quite well on that front. I used divine healing nearly every day for the first year or two. I learned it from our mirror, and it just peeled my ego onion really quick. It just basically took this guy here, my ego onion. This is all the layers of, this is the flame of consciousness. This is our soul, and this is the layers of the ego, which I put in place by the higher self as a filter. So we experience life in a certain way, and this was really giving me a hard time. And so I started peeling this rapidly. So life started getting easier, and gradually easier as I peeled it, because I'd spent a lot of my life trying to figure out, well, what's going on. When it's here, I was learning to feel the many layers of this, and gradually, as I brought consciousness to them, clear them. And so you get back to the pure love that you are with divine healing. If you want to ask any questions, just turn your microphone on and just say your name, okay? Because I can't see you all at once. I can only see, we can see 6 cameras at once, and there's 22 of you here, okay? And even if you're not on camera, you can still switch your microphone on, okay? Or just message me on the chat, okay? Chat's at the bottom of the little blue inbox. Just click on it, you can type away. So how do we go about peeling that onion? Well, we're sort of going gardening, really, spiritually anyway. We're going to grow lotuses, which are the beautiful things in life, out of the mud, out of all our unconscious separation, emotional separation. And we're using a Buddhist model here, which is where we actually view all things as one, rather than the sort of good and evil polarity consciousness that we generally have in the West. And so the consciousness programming, this is going to be transmuted to turn and be transformed into lotuses. So all the stuff which keeps you stuck, it's about turning towards it and transforming it into the gifts that you do desire in life. So how do we get stuck in the mud down here on Earth? Well, here's how it happened. Source, all that is, God, whatever you want to call it in the spiritual sense, had an outbreak, and what it did is it expanded its consciousness and it created creation. And it basically went from what we call a 12-dimensional model in this case. And it basically took parts of itself and it went denser and denser and denser until we got to the 3rd dimension, which is the reality we're in here, where we came into a seemingly solid physical body. And when we're born, we feel separate from all the rest of us. It's the nature of being in a body. And so we land here on Earth and we feel what's going on here, and there's something missing, there's something badly wrong with this place, or it's a splinter in your mind, they call it in the matrix. And what's actually happened is that we've disconnected from source, and we feel abandoned at a very primal level, because we popped out of our mother and then we're no longer connected to God as much as we were when we were still in the womb, or even prior to incarnation. And there's an interference zone here of energy which stops us breaking through and connecting back to source, connecting back to love. And so that's how the sense of abandonment in us is created. And that's what actually blocks the flow. Because if we feel fundamentally, pre-verbally disconnected from here, then we don't believe anything can come to us initially. Or we may believe some, but not as much as we'd like. Okay. So what happens as a result of being born is this. Each of us carries 3 primary separation programs. We carry the sense of being abandoned by God because we separated by being born. As a result of that, we feel unworthy to be loved by God because God abandoned us, kicked us out of heaven, or however we want to call it. And therefore we mistrust God, we mistrust the flow in our life. So these 3 primary programs create everything in your ego structure. And it's in a myriad of different unique combinations. And our lives are about transmuting these, reconnecting to God, which is what this webinar is about. This is about feeling loved by God, worthy to be loved by God. This is about trusting the flow of God. If you can actually consciously work through all these 3 programs, then what happens then is that you'll connect back to the flow and life will open for you. Things will just turn up. Okay, it's actually quite simple in the end, and the rest of it's a lot of detail. But these are the 3 key programs you've got to work on if you want your life to flow. Tonight we're going to work on this one. Okay. So, what do humans do when they're faced with this? This is what most human egos do. An ego is separate from us. It's just a construct. It's like an operating system on your computer or your iPad that enables you to interface with it. The first thing that most people do is that they judge their program, they judge their abandonment and feel bad about it. Feel bad about being abandoned. Okay? That's usually, that's most people, okay, if they feel it. But some people don't even get to this. They actually just go into complete avoidance. They don't want to feel it. They numb out, they get addicted to patterning, smoke, drink, watch film, watch movies all the time, whatever they do, work too hard. Okay? But if you can take the third path, the third way, if you can turn into feeling it and resonate and own it here and get to the origin of it consciously, then you've started to transmute that program. And it's the beginning of reconnecting to higher consciousness. Right? But our egos are sort of pain averse, so it's actually quite challenging to do that. So, this is what it takes to actually heal abandonment or disconnection, which is what we're dealing with tonight to create flow. You've already clearly got the willingness, desire, and courage, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So this is about bringing feeling consciousness, I'm going to change my pen here, to an issue, so this is abandonment, by taking feeling consciousness into it, because what you feel, you can heal. Because once you brought consciousness to it, then the soul starts, and the ego starts to let it go, because that's all it wanted you to do, to feel that sense of abandonment, then move through it and transform it. So, yeah, to the next diagram. The ego is sort of clever, and it doesn't want us to particularly do that. It doesn't want to give up these programs too easily. So what it does, it numbs us out. Because by putting this turquoise sort of ice around it, defense mechanisms, protection, because what you can't feel, you can't heal. And we've learned to control our emotions with the prefrontal cortex. It's part of this defense mechanism. So we don't feel the issue. If we can't feel it, it stays and creates havoc in our lives. So what happens here with divine healing is that the tools in divine healing allow us to start to break through the defense mechanisms of grace and ease, and start to feel the program. And as spirit comes in, to this, grace descends, and then things start to unlock, and we actually start to get some good shifts in the way our ego is built. Let's have a little drink here. So I'm going to give you an overview based on that of actually how you get the flow going in life. Because the flow doesn't come from this earthly reality. The true flow comes from your higher self, which is permanent. This is in the higher dimensions. So your higher self basically consists of an atmic body or God self, this is a Hindu model or Vedic model. A Buddhic body, which is the higher emotional body, and the non-linear mind, cosmic consciousness. This is where Mozart got his symphonies from. So this is the source of your flow. And so the key to that is to open up what's called the Antakarana. For those of you who are familiar with astral traveling, that's the silver cord you see. If you can open up this Antakarana then the flow of your higher consciousness will come through your higher self, and then good stuff starts to happen in life. So how do we do that? Well, you and I are all, we're sort of, our consciousness is mainly stuck in this area here, in the impermanent personality, ego, in our mental body, emotional body, our energy bodies, all 7 of them, and our physical body. That's what we are in our human form. So we're not focusing on this particularly at the moment. All our attention is down here. And this is filled with these emotional separation programs. And these separation programs are blocking this flow from coming through, because it's keeping this antakarana, this flow of higher consciousness, very small. So the key to get into the flow is to clean out all of this, all your energy bodies, your emotional body, and the physical body, of all these separation programs that come as a result of moving away from God and consciousness. Because this is called a game of separation from spirit. The idea is to move as far away as possible and sense that there is no God, and actually go on the journey of reconnecting and opening to this higher consciousness. And the journey, the visceral emotional journey of reconnection, and gradually becoming more conscious and remembering who we are, which is love and one, love and unity, is the purpose of life. And we each do it in our own unique way. So here's what happens when you start to clear the impermanent personality. What happens as you start to do this is the antakarana opens up, because the frequency of your lower self here has risen. Okay? And what happens there is that it allows unconditional love to flow in, because your body can handle it. Okay? All right, so Sarah just said to me, what about medications for depression and ADHD? Does it affect the defense mechanism? And can I heal myself, use source? How? Okay. So emotions, good or bad? Emotions aren't good or bad, Sarah. They just are. But medications for depression, what they do is they basically numb out the emotional body, and they actually prevent you from feeling what's going on down here. So all they do is freeze you. They don't actually shift you at all. Okay, it's just a band-aid, really. It's not actually getting to the issue at all. And I'm not saying if anyone is on these medications to come off them, because I'm not qualified to do that, but that's actually what they do. That's the medical approach to this. Okay. Because our Mary who developed this used to be a general practitioner. So life starts to get better when the flow comes. For those of you who've been on the path, you might have noticed as you start to work on yourself, life does get a bit better. And as you start to clear more of your ego personality, the antakarana opens up even more. More flow starts to come. And then what starts to happen as your personality gets clear, it starts to come out into the world. And this reality, this matrix, is just a 3-dimensional projection screen of consciousness. Nothing can flow to you from this world. Okay, it can only come from higher consciousness. And this higher consciousness energy, as it flows through a cleaner personality, well, what that does is it basically starts to manifest better things in your life. So how many of you found life has got better as you worked on yourself? Put your hand up if you have that, yeah. Okay, this is why, because you're opening up, you're allowing this to come through. So the cleaner you can create your personality, the better life is going to open to you. So no matter what you do in the outer world, if you're running your own business or whatever, if you haven't cleared enough of what's on the inside, nothing is going to change long term. But if this is clear on the inside and you're doing the right thing in the outer world, then life is going to flow a lot better. Okay? Because as you open up here, what happens is this. Get to the last diagram here. As you clear the personality, this is called enlightenment, where you've basically dissolved the ego's resistance to higher consciousness, and the ego starts to surrender and becomes a servant for higher consciousness to really flow in the world. So what's coming through is even greater. And so this is where things just start to happen. Good stuff starts to happen, and it's not actually under your control. at all. By that time, you would have let that go altogether. It's actually coming from higher self. So you're a conscious vessel for higher consciousness to serve on earth. That's when you're really in the flow. Everything will just turn up on an as-needed basis. So this is what happens here. So what's happened is that the ego has totally surrendered here, and the Atmic body, Buddhic body, and nonlinear mind are served by the surrendered ego. And this unconditional love of who you are from the higher self is flowing to the world. And yeah, life just opens in each moment. And by that, if you get to this stage, you don't have to have any particular attachment to anything. You're very surrendered, just going with what feels right in the heart. Okay, so, and this is the sort of desireless state the Buddha talks about when you get to this point. So desireless at the point, even if you were going to die or something, you actually wouldn't worry. You wouldn't be concerned because you'd be so connected to this anyway. You know there isn't any death. But this is the state to try and aim for to bring yourself into flow in life. Because when you get to that, this is what happens. Initially, this is the spiritual map of life. What you're starting to do when you open to this whole process I just showed you is that you're moving from with the place of the little ego being totally in charge or thinking it's in charge, and when you're following that blindly, you're on the path of suffering. But when you undertake divine healing, okay, what it's doing is it's shifting you to following what we call the spiritual signature. And that's in each moment is one right heart open action. Okay, and this is the spiritual signature here. And if you follow that, in each moment, your life will open and flow. It will just be graceful. But initially, once we realize that's what we're meant to do, it takes a little while to converge. You converge, you move away, you converge, and gradually over time, you converge. So life's getting a lot easier because by this stage, because you've burnt enough of the ego, you've got this vast consciousness of vast higher consciousness from your higher self, feeding information, ideas, flow, love to you. And so this is the key to getting into the flow. This is actually what it means to be in the flow. You're following the cues, what you should be doing in each moment. Any questions so far about that? Just switch your mic on if you want to, if you've got any questions. Everyone okay with that so far? We'll continue. So what happens is that initially we have these emotional blockages which are blocking our life force. Less life force means less energy to get things done in life, which causes low energy, pain, and all these limitations. As you clear them with, in this case, divine healing, this applies to other healing tools as well. Divine healing just seems to be pretty fast. As you start to dissolve these patterns here, you free up the life force, which means more energy, more freedom in life. And we're doing that by bringing consciousness and healing to clear these blockages. And so the idea with divine healing is to clear out as much of the stuff as possible at a pace you can handle. And as you do that, this life force becomes available and more things happen, more good stuff starts to happen. But it's layer by layer we actually do that. So why don't we have a direct experience of this, okay? So let's have a look here. Someone else has joined us. Paul's joined us, so welcome, Paul. Just switch on your camera if you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you direct experience of divine healing. Stop sharing here so we can see. So what I'd like you to do, guys, is if you've got shoes on, take your shoes off and put your feet flat on the ground to ground. And we're going to do a little bit of divine healing. We're going to start with clearing what is called energy interference. And the energy interference is the guys I showed you earlier, which is show the screen or show you. We're going to clear. We're going to clear a whole bunch of these guys these astral beings who are stopping you connecting to higher consciousness. That's what we're going to clear now. So you may feel your body move. You may feel energy shifting as we do this. This will be the interference in you coming out. Okay. So what I've done is, prior to us starting, I opened the divine healing space to align you all to your higher selves. So if you started feeling a bit altered before we started, that's the reason why. Okay. So we're going to clear some of those energy interference beings, okay, out of you. I'll be doing the command codes quietly, but I just want you just to breathe through your mouth. So breathing through your mouth keeps you in your body, and just see how it goes. Okay. Having your eyes closed is really important, because what that's going to do is it's going to take you out of thinking about this to actually feeling it, which is really important. Okay. Here we go. First set of beings. And they all feel a little different. So feel the shift now. It's the first group of beings who left. If your body needs to shake or you need to yawn, that's fine. I want to yawn after clearing that one. Okay, we thank the angels for their help and assistance with this. Okay, we're going to take out the next set of beings now. Now we'll take out the third set of beings. Feel the energy shift with the third group of beings. Okay, I want you to breathe through your mouth a little more. Open your eyes when you're ready. And just see how you feel. Okay, breathing through your mouth into your body. Breathing through the mouth is very important. Keeps you in the body. Breathing through the nose keeps you in your head. And this works all that feeling in the body. Who would like to share that experience of how that was? Just put your hand up. Okay, Claudia.
I got really nauseous for a second. I think it was on a third degree sets of beings. Yeah. I was kind of like out of it. But at a point, I felt it down in my stomach, like just above my diaphragm, and I got really nauseous for a second. It was interesting. And I do a lot of clearing, like on a daily basis, and I really do a lot of work. Is why I don't understand why I get in these, stuck waiting for answers. But yeah, that was.
You're breaking up a little bit there, Claudia. Yeah, I think you'll come back. Okay, we'll wait. Come back to you later. Anyone else like to share how that was? Mina, how was that for you? You have to unmute.
Funny enough, I was feeling nauseous all day long today, actually.
You're getting ready.
Yeah. I actually canceled 3 of my clients thinking that I had the flu, and then suddenly I felt okay right before the session. So I feel like as if I played hooky. My experience the past 5 minutes, my heartbeat went up considerably. And I had this very strange, it's really strange. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it. I felt as if I could hear angel wings flapping. I could
you probably did.
It was just like this. I just felt like these wings were all flapping. Really, it was wild. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we did use angelics in the first one, so that's probably what you felt.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Who else would like to share? Okay, Chrissy, you have to unmute.
Yeah. So I felt the shift from the first one, and then with the second one, my solar plexus just went really, really tight.
Yep. Someone coming out.
Okay. And by the time I got to the third one, it was a terrific pressure on the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, who are these beings?
Well, it's the interference beings that discarnate beings, earthbound souls, all sorts of beings who hang out around us. We can't see them, but they're present, and often they're feeding off our negative emotions. Okay. Or they have a resonance with whatever issue you have.
Right.
So we're basically cleaning them out because they're interfering with our connection to the higher self for this work.
Okay, because I've had a digestive system. I think I've had a problem with my lower esophageal valve for a while, which I know is related to an emotional issue I have.
Yeah.
To do with my relationship, and so that's where that energy felt really tight and sort of almost felt sucked in. So
yeah, well, there'll be beings who hold the negative emotions in place who got a bit upset by what you were doing just now, and some of them would have got pulled out by the process, which is why you feel certain parts of your body you feel movement and energy moving around quite strongly sometimes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to share there? Okay, Sarah.
Hi, yeah, my whole left hand has been tingling all morning, just like I'm waking up or something. And during this last couple of minutes, I had my hand on I had both hands on my lap, and my left hand was just twitching. But of course, I was thinking a lot, and I'm worried that I did something and they're still here. Are you sure they're gone?
Well, whoever wanted to leave left. That's why your hand was twitching. And you haven't done anything wrong. What happens with divine healing is whatever needs to leave leaves in the right timing. It's about surrendering to the higher self. You don't need to be scared or anything. It's fine. So,
I'm just worried I didn't surrender enough.
Yeah. Well, no, you'll be fine. So,
okay, thank you.
Surrender takes a lot of practice. Irene. Yeah, I've got you trying to.
I didn't feel anything, so I'm wondering. I actually have those layers because I'm a kind of already connected. You know, I get some messages from angels, but I don't know how many layers I have to remove. You know, I have some blockages, but I don't know up to how many? So it's just, I haven't felt anything. It's just like nothing.
Yeah. It's okay if you don't feel anything. Sometimes not much happens. Or the other thing that could be happening is that your system may have got it may have put protection around itself. What may actually be going on is this. We'll share the screen here. Is that it may be doing this. If you don't feel anything, it means also that your system, you could be running up against some of this emotional protection ice. Okay, so it's about finding a way to break through that at some stage with divine healing. That's actually how we break through that. So don't be concerned if you're not feeling much. It just means you've got a bit of ice to break through, basically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else want to share? Yasmin?
Am I muted?
Yeah, I can hear you, Yasmin. It's okay, you can talk.
I definitely feel some energy, but I'm not sure because mostly at the beginning I couldn't understand what you were saying. So I was a bit like occupied by, what he said, what I need to focus. So I was a bit lost at the beginning. And then I felt some energy, definitely I felt some sensations. It was quite actually high energy and very active, I felt. And it wasn't soft, it was more like I felt more like fiery something. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, something happened. So I'll try and speak more slowly. And it could just be the internet as well. Claudia, you were caught mid-sentence. Something dropped out. Yeah. You have to unmute. You can't hear you. You might have to
All right.
There you go. There you go. You can hear now.
Okay. Oh, geez. Hold on, guys. You go on to someone else. My kid just got home from school. I have to dismiss them out of my office.
Okay. All right.
Can I just say, like you're saying that like we're sharing our space with some other beings? Like, do you mean like in our energy field, or
Yeah, they're in your energy field. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like I just want them gone if they're there, because and how can we know if they're gone? I mean, I would say I just felt pretty peaceful during that session. I didn't notice anything like profound. I would definitely say that I'm always looking to peel stuff away and face stuff. I mean, I even follow a raw food diet, which, you know, it doesn't get more raw than that. I've just done a 30-day fast as well. And I just like, I don't feel, I do feel a lot of pain and stuff that comes up. And I kind of deal with it on a day-to-day basis by looking at it and knowing that it's not really me, it's not the whole picture, and I'm like really aware of these different facets of my mind that creates all these dramas and stuff.
Okay, we need to focus just on this process because we've got 25 people here. Okay. Yeah, just focus on the experience, okay, of the actual shift in each process, okay, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes you can feel stuff, sometimes you can't, and it's okay. And we always have this interference around us because it's actually what holds a lot of our emotional programming in place, and it's okay. Right? You just found out about it now. So it's nothing to be alarmed about. Okay.
Yeah, right. I feel quite okay. That's reassuring.
Yeah. All right.
I just want to know, like, how can you know they're gone, or do you not know?
Well, you don't. You just know the ones who have left, and you feel a little more lighter and a little more peaceful.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the next layer will leave when they're ready. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not all going to go in one go, you see, because they're part of creating the human experience here, the emotional soup that we're in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
You're just discovering the hidden programming and stuff and beings who create our life the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I suppose acceptance is needed.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Oops.
Claudia, do you want to try?
Okay.
And finish that sentence off, and we'll go to you, Jonathan.
What sentence did I get caught at? I don't remember. I was just saying that I felt really nauseous. It was like a resistance that didn't want to let go. And I almost wanted to open my eyes, but I didn't. And it kind of released itself. And I don't know. I felt some vibration, and I feel very clear. I don't think I have too many blockages, but the ones I have been working on and the things that I have blocking me, I've been like at a brick wall. I haven't been able to kind of break through. And I think that was very helpful. And then my computer just went crazy and I lost connection. And that happens a lot with me. I blow light bulbs and stuff like that energetically when I, pass things, when I'm like really high frequency and vibrating. But I feel good.
Good.
Feel good.
And you're back. That's the main thing. The interference can mess with the computer as well. So.
Yeah. This is where I think I have most of my issues, is like near the solar plexus.
Yeah.
Right in between that I'm trying to work through. So.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Jonathan.
The main thing I got right at the very before you actually were leading up, as you were leading up to starting, I just this deep fear in my legs, sort of like, ooh,
yeah,
real fear. And then throughout, it was more about I just noticed tension and just released it each time I felt it. But what I wanted to ask is a couple of questions. That when you talk about the ice, that green layer on the sketch.
Yeah.
Do we have to do people have to do something else to get rid of that, or would this do that eventually, sort of thing?
The defense mechanisms of the ego can take many forms, but divine healing can get it in many different ways. It just depends on what's going on. See, divine healing is a process. I'll show you the manual actually. Just share the screen again. This is a divine healing level 1 manual. There's 5 levels of it, and it's about empowering yourself. And this is a 12-strand DNA. The idea of this is to show you that everything that you're going through is programmed by your DNA. But what actually happens is that you're surrendering to your higher self. You don't have to think your way through this. Okay, you've all done plenty of thinking in this life. Basically, what we're doing is, I'm just trying to adjust this so you can see a few of these. There are 26 charts in divine healing. Okay, following the letters of the alphabet. And the higher self uses these to dismantle your ego onion, and you don't have to worry about how it does it. You don't have to figure it out, but it will work out how to dissolve the turquoise ice here, because that's built in different ways for different people, and it's quite complex the way we're built at ego level. So you'd never figure it out, because it's like the ego trying to figure itself out or standing on your own shoulders. But the wisdom of the higher self basically moves through all these different charts. These charts, for example, for working with angels, okay? Working with different frequencies like fluorescences, working with your chakras, hydrating your cells. So, because when your cells are hydrated, it means that you can actually access the emotions buried in the cells. Diagnostic charts to find out what emotions are running. If you're not sure what's running, say you're feeling numbed out, this will actually get you to what the feeling is. And when you see it, you realize, that's true, that's me. Works on fears and phobias. Works on God consciousness. This is a disconnection from source, and abandonment by God in many different ways. It's a very powerful chart. It'll work on your hidden agendas and the ego, stuff which creates the weird stuff that's going on, why some things don't work, or we sabotage ourselves, because the hidden agenda is running us opposite to what we consciously want to do. We just work on interferences there. It works on our judgments and beliefs about ourselves, especially. Okay, which is locks our programs in. Key psychological conflicts that we have, deeply buried things like you may be trying to focus on getting more love, but your ego may have a reversal which says, I'm not loved, and that may be the fundamental core of your ego, the way it's built. And if you have that running, it's going to be just about impossible to be loved unless you change that reversal. But you won't know what these are, but the higher self will show you through the process of this chart, actually what that is. Life stresses, mainly frequency programs, which is what we're going to work on next. Energy nutrition, the frequency of particular nutritional types to actually open your system up. Okay. Original time, we need to target where certain programs come in. When you target something, bring more consciousness to it and it shifts more deeply. We're going to clear some past lives in a little while as well. You can repair your subtle bodies because a lot of our programming is stored in there. This is self-evident, releasing blocks to positive living, and this is a strong one here, sabotage. You put out a sabotage running, Jonathan, that stops your project. You don't know what it is, but you just know something really stuck a big aura in there, and it's usually something deeply buried. But we'll do that. We can clear traumas, which are as a result of life in general. We work on the archetypes we carry in life that are carried in the collective consciousness here. And we clear vaccines and toxins because they all have particular frequencies that limit our consciousness. More diagnostics. We are issues in the body, and this is more healing symbols here, short command codes to burn through programming and balancing out our yin and yang. So the higher self has a whole menu. It has 26 to choose from. What we do with divine healing is that I aligned you before we started to your higher selves, which is why for some of you it was strong before you came. Okay, and so I teach you basically how to align to the higher self, and it will basically choose the charts for you. Okay, and you connect with that knowledge, and then it will guide you through each chart. So essentially, it's about surrendering and getting out of the way of the higher self and being present and grounded and feeling whatever comes up and just following the different charts. Okay, to actually peel your ego. And it will be peeled in an optimal manner, whatever it'll be in the way that you need at that moment. And it won't be something you can think about, but it'll probably be with an issue that's presenting, like for you, Jonathan, it's sabotage. So the ego will probably, the higher self will probably start with something around that, because that's what's happened recently. It's strong for you, it's your gateway. And then we'll go from that gateway and start to peel your entire system at the rate that you can cope with. Okay? And the higher self will move around all different charts in whatever order's in divine order for you. And everyone's different, but you actually peel that onion in the optimal manner in a way that's going to keep you stable and sustainable. And that's how you get to open to the higher consciousness, open to that flow, open to that reconnection to source, which is how you overcome abandonment and get the flow running in life. All right? Any questions on that so far?
What is this chart from that we're reading right now?
This is the index for the Divine Healing Manual, level 1.
Oh.
This is actually the manual, the teaching manual. So
okay.
I'm giving you an overview of what is in Divine Healing, the level 1 course, for actually dismantling your ego. This is what this is all about. These are the tools.
And all of that is just the level 1?
That's level 1, yeah. That's level 1. Okay,
The vaccines and toxins, I found that's quite interesting because I've understood that these vaccines that they give children cause some problems. Can we work to remove the blockages that those bring up for us that you've got down there? Is that what that's meaning?
Yeah, that basically takes the frequency of the vaccine or toxin out of your body, so its impact is reduced enormously.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so if you've been forced to have your kids vaccinated, like in America, you can take out the effect of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go to the main low frequency chart here. So I'll show you a chart.
I ask you something. How do you know when you have removed all the layers? Because you have full connection?
Because you're going to feel better and lighter and freer and expanded. You'll know. You'll know.
There is a specific sign that you have removed all your blockages. Because if you can't detect them, how do you know where they are? Based on your in the way you behave. I mean, if you change,
you'll just feel that something which was holding you back is freed up and gone, and you just feel freer and more open to life. Okay, but it depends on the particular issue that's running. Okay, all right. So this is Band frequency programs here, and this is a pretty typical chart we use in divine healing. So what I want you guys to do. Remember that the focus here is on reconnecting by overcoming abandonment. So we've got abandonment here, but I'm going to scan through this. So any of these, the intention of this is that I want you to pick one that resonates with you the most. Your eye will probably be drawn to it, or it will trigger you emotionally, and write it down, because then we're going to do the command code at the bottom of this, and we're going to actually clear that main frequency program. And so there's a particular one that's right for you at this moment, okay? All right. Okay. So have a look at that. I'm going to slowly scan through it, okay? And the one that jumps out, one will jump out, like the writing will jump off the page. It could be poor, for example. And don't try and figure out if it's correct or not, because you won't be able to work it out. And your ego may try and resist you as well. But whatever comes to you first, that is the one, and it'll become clearer later. Okay. Because ego does not give up its secrets easily. All right.
Is it just the one, or can it be a few?
No, just pick one, Kay, because you've got to bring consciousness to one issue at a time. You can't put a whole bunch in; it won't work as effectively. I'll go back up again once more so you can pick one. Okay. I'll go back up again so you get a second look at it. Has everyone got one now? Has anyone not got one?
I have anger.
What's that, Irene? Anger, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I have.
What is that, Yasmin?
Loneliness.
Is that true? Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to share what they got? And how relevant it was to their life? Just switch your microphone on and just let us know.
I got discontent.
Is that true, Claudia? Hang on, you unmuted yourself then.
Yeah, definitely true. I feel discontent a lot of the time.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'm struggling to single one out because actually discontent is probably good for me, but there's the abandonment and then there's poor, and I think that I'm working with the abandonment thing. It's getting better, and now I'm stuck with the poor and the discontent, and I can't. Is it just a eeny meeny if you feel like that?
Well, which one feels stronger to you? That's probably the best way. I'd say poor's pretty strong for you, actually, feeling the energy, Kay.
Okay,
let's go with that. Just go with that one, okay?
Yeah.
Right. When you first start doing this stuff, there's usually lots of programs, so there's a lot to choose from, okay?
Okay. So to start with, I felt insecurity.
So who's speaking? Just say
Chrissy.
Chrissy, hi. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, to start with, I felt insecurity, but actually indecisiveness has just jumped out at me.
Okay, we've got to pick one, so.
Okay, I'll go with indecisiveness.
Okay. So I want you to all close your eyes and remember the one you've chosen. and just become aware of how the program operates in your life. Just feel it, without the ego going to some massive big story around it, which it will sometimes want to do. Okay? Just feel it. Okay. And it means going to a place sometimes where we are going to feel a bit uncomfortable. And when that happens, that's telling you you're getting at a program, because the ego doesn't want you to go there. So it's a bit important to go there. Okay, so I want you to open your eyes, and we're going to go to chart O, which is original time. We're going to target where that program is. Where did the abandonment come from, or the indecisiveness? So in Divine Healing, we always have been doing number mapping. We're picking a number between 1 and 24. So what I want you to just look is close your eyes again. Okay. I'm going to say pick a number between 1 and 24. Whatever number came to you first is the correct number. Anything after that is the mind playing with you. And then write that number down and have a look on this chart here. See what it was. Okay, so
what does that mean in utero? Choose a number 1 4 to 6 weeks.
it means that in the womb, and if say you pick a number 1 to 42, say you got 3, and the third week that program came in, that male program came into you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So just note that number and write down where it came from. We don't have time to explain exactly what everything means, but targeting where a program comes from means you are actually going deeper into clearing it. Okay. Targeting is very important in Divine Healing. Okay. And we'll go back to male frequency programs. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to open to all aspects of the feeling of that program, because you're targeted now. Become aware of the ego's attachment to holding on to that program. It can be a bit slippery, the stuff, because you're going to places the ego doesn't like you to go to. Become aware of the feelings of being bad for having it. And most importantly, all judgment the ego has of it. And when you're usually not aware of judgment until I say something like that, and you realize, oh my God, I am judging it. Okay. I'm a Virgo, so I tend to judge everything, I noticed. But it took me long to realize I was actually even doing that.
That's me.
Yeah. And the more you open to the program, the more it can integrate and heal. Okay. Okay, everyone open your eyes. And now we're going to just stay breathing into that program. Okay. And we're going to do this command code together. We have things called command codes in Divine Healing, where you're asking the higher self or other beings like Saint Germain to clear programs. This is the empowering part of it, because by saying it out loud, you command the universe to change something in you. And once you've said it, you can't take it back. So still breathing into your program. Repeat after me. We ask Saint Germain to switch your microphones on. Everyone switch your microphones on so we can hear each other. Okay. So we ask Saint Germain to pour the purple flame through the aura and subtle bodies, to burn away all low frequency energies,
to burn away all low frequency images
that we have discovered, so that new higher level vibrations
new higher level vibrations
can be accessed.
Can
Can
be
be accessed.
So we pause there. We got to let Saint Germain get on with it. And you feel the energy will be sort of busy for a while. Okay, that's done. Next line. Saint Germain and higher self.
Saint Germain.
Saint Germain and higher self.
Please burn out in one go.
Please
Please
burn out
burn
in one
out
go.
in one go.
100% the core issue
100% the core issue
100% core issue.
through all levels and dimensions.
through
Through
all
all
levels
levels
of
and
dimensions.
100% the original cause
100% the original cause
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
100% the source of its power
100% the source of its power
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
We pause there, let that move. It's done. 100% all energy
100% all energy
attached through all levels and dimensions.
attached through
all levels and dimensions.
100% all of its effects
100% all of its effects
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
Let that shift. Then we express gratitude by saying thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your body might want to shiver. We'll move around. Just feel that shift. Close your eyes and feel that shift. You might want to yawn. Yawning's fine. How does that feel, Chrissy? How'd that feel?
That was great. Really good. Yeah.
How do you feel compared to before?
No, I definitely felt a big shift at the end.
Yeah.
I am
Okay,
giggling
good.
a bit because my son is on the floor making faces at me.
Okay. Sean, how was that? If you guys could go on mute if you're not talking, okay? Because we can hear all the typing and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, that was quite interesting because I felt lots of energy in my whole head, the cranium.
Yep.
I felt vibrations like when I did my Reiki course
Yeah.
years ago. But I feel like I've come down with a cold in about 20 seconds.
You're having a big detox of the program coming out your body.
Yeah. Well,
It's not a cold, it's just detox.
okay. That's good.
Okay. Thank you. Mina, how was that? Hang on. You have to unmute. Try now.
I actually didn't trust my intuition. I had one of the numbers that came up. I actually then saw something else. And I think I ended up focusing on trying to figure out what number.
Yeah, that's why I said don't try and figure it out.
But it's okay. I think I got to the number. I think that was fitting, but it was a little bit behind. But interesting enough, I'm because Sean is sitting right next to me. I'm quite an empath. So I'm actually. I think if we actually do this again, I need to be in another room because I was sensing his.
I think so.
Detox. Yeah. So anyhow, that was quite interesting for me. Probably not the outcome that maybe was supposed to be, but right.
Yeah, see how this works. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Mikael, how's that? How are you? How was that?
Fine, thank you. I felt this nice warm heat building up, and it just feels very good.
Okay, good. Thank you. Katie, how are you doing?
Sorry. Doing good. I felt the energy moving with both things that we've done so far. I feel kind of a lightening in the chest, so I feel a lot lighter. With this one in particular, I feel a little bit of energy in the jaw facial area, which kind of makes sense because my number was the thing was frustration.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
In my face. So yeah, good.
Okay, thank you. Con, how was that?
Interesting. I think since our first exercise, I've had this feeling of lightheadedness, and I've got this tingling that goes from the base of from my neck up to the base of my skull, and it's been there since the first exercise, and now through this one as well. So yeah, and I'm still feeling a little bit very lightheaded at the moment. So
yes, it's still shifting. You're still processing it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Lydia.
Yeah, I feel I'm more awake.
Yeah, that'll happen as you release life force and it becomes available. We wake up and we're more energized, even late at night. So, okay. Anyone else want to share? Thank you, Lydia. Sarah.
Yeah, when we were preparing, I could feel this tingling and numbness in my fingers in my left hand. And when I looked down, I wasn't moving my hand, but my middle finger was just twitching. Yeah. So anyways, I was like, well, okay, just let that go. And I resonated with the closed program since birth. And so I thought of all the ways, like just closed-mindedness, closed to food, closed to love, closed to nutrients. And I feel really tingly all over now.
Yes,
thanks.
Cellular release. Tingly is good. That means something's really shifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And if it's coming out of a particular joint, like the finger, and it moves, that means some concentrate is coming out of the cells. And the main thing is just to relax when that happens. So.
Okay. I have a question.
Go for it.
I feel a little confused. Like my body feels confused. It was the discontent, and then the number I chose was from DNA and genetics. So I just went with it, and I kind of feel, I don't know, I feel weird still.
Yeah, you're still processing, Claudia, because something came out of your DNA. Okay.
Yeah, I feel really heavy. Like my whole body just feels like sand.
Yeah, it means you're grounding in the body. It means a program left that may have been keeping you out of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to Earth. Okay. All right. So the other thing that creates a lot of our programming is past lives. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the past life chart here, guys. So I'm going to find it for you. So we die in all sorts of lovely ways on Earth. So I'm going to scroll through this past life chart. I want you to pick out the one which you're really drawn to, the form of death you're really drawn to. And we often repeat the same type of death many times. Okay, and because our intention is to clear abandonment, this is often when we die horribly, we can feel abandoned by God, and that can put in deep programming. So just pick the one that's really strong for you here. I'm going to go through slowly. Some of them are none of them are particularly pleasant. And don't worry about what they mean if you're not quite sure. The main thing is you've got to the energy and your higher self's picked it, and that's all that matters. Okay. I'll go back up again. Okay. Does everyone pick their past life? Yep. Yeah, there's strangulation, Sarah. You can die from strangulation if you have a memory of that. So just focus on that as your one. If it's just come to you. Sometimes things will come to you when you do this work which aren't in the chart, but they're relevant. And it's your higher self telling you, because can't cover everything that can possibly happen. All right, so now close your eyes and ask your higher self how many lifetimes are involved, because you might have done this 6 times, died of being stung, and write that number down. Whatever number comes first is the correct number. Okay, have you got a question? Okay, you put your hand up. You have to turn on the sound.
What did you say about a number?
Just pick a number that comes to you, which is basically the number of times you died that way. Just open up the higher self, and it will give you a number. It could be 1, 2, 6, 10, whatever. Because we're going to clear all those lifetimes that you died that way. So their impact on this life will be erased, basically. And you'll feel a lot freer. Okay, so close your eyes. Anyone not got their number? Everyone okay? All right. So close your eyes. I'm going to do the command code quietly now. And just be aware of those lifetimes and the number that they are, because keep your focus on that and that feeling. I'm going to do the command code quietly, and it's going to start to take out the effect of that past life on those past lives on this life. Here we go. Just breathe through your mouth and feel this. Everyone say thank you. And just embrace the shift there. And just breathe into that and open your eyes when you're ready. Because we've done a lot of strong clearing, we're going to do some energetic nutrition now to actually integrate this, because we're dismantling the ego, so it's a very delicate little creature. So you have to take it easy on how fast we do this. So we're going to infuse some energetic nutrition. Yeah, I'll show you. So what I'd like you to do is just same as before. You need one either amino acid, essential fatty acids. There's a few more down here as well. We've got some minerals and vitamins. Just pick the one that really jumps out at you and write that down, because that's going to help you integrate the clearing of the main low frequency programs from the past lives.
Can it be from any of the charts?
It can be from anything that I show you here, this page or the next page.
Okay.
But it's only one of them, you see. You don't have to even be able to pronounce it or know what it does. It'll still work, okay? I'll go back the other way. All right. So now we're going to switch your microphones on, everyone, even you guys who aren't showing your videos, just so we as a group are doing this. Okay. All right. All right. And we're going to do this command code together. It's very powerful when we do this as a group. Repeat after me. Higher self,
Myself.
please encode this nutrient
Please.
in the perfect balance
In the perfect
balance
that is required
that is required
and clear and align
And
clear and
Line.
all pathways
all pathways
Pathways.
for maximum assimilation,
For maximum assimilation,
absorption,
absorption
and utilization.
absorption and utilization.
And just feel the shift. It takes a little while for the body to adjust. You might move around, the body shivering a bit. And when you feel it's stable, you say, thank you.
Thank you.
The gratitude is very important because that opens you up to source and divine grace. Okay. So that sort of should settle your systems out a bit after all that shifting. Okay. So how was that? Anyone want to share how that was? Jonathan, how was that?
Yeah, I just felt, I suppose I feel more solid. That's how I'd describe it.
Good.
Yeah, I feel more solid. That's about the best adjective I can think of.
Okay, because we get grounded and more integrated as we clear more programs, you see. Yeah, we become more whole. Thank you. Katie, how was that?
So the past life part, was quite emotional. I felt kind of some, tears and almost breathlessness come up with that. And now I feel like I need a nap. But yeah, I just generally feel as, a lot cleaner especially in the center. I just really feel it strongly in the chest.
Yeah.
So it's really
very,
nice.
Very good. Sean, how was that?
That was interesting. Because what I chose, the part of my body feels different, feels lighter.
Yeah.
There's not a boring pain there any longer. I can hardly touch my chest or bear to have it touched, and I'm just pressing into it quite strongly, and there's no trace of pain there.
Yeah. Program gone.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. Lena. No, you just muted yourself. It's okay. It was okay before.
It was okay before. Okay.
Try now.
I'm feeling my feet feel so grounded right now, which feels lovely. I'm still getting these through both of those programs. My head is pulsing.
Yeah.
And for the past life, I have to say I chose miscarriage, and I wasn't quite sure if I was miscarried or if I died with miscarriage, but I felt quite emotional, actually.
Yeah, could be either.
So there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah.
Not much to say. I've been feeling very tight in my throat.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that it would clear, but I think I just need to allow things to work still.
Yeah. So what you can do is you can go back in and watch the video later. I'll send you all the video and just go and pick a different one, and it'll still work on that one.
Okay.
So you can use it that way. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Chrissy.
Yeah, so I chose hanging. And
Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Expecting that I would feel a lot more pressure around my throat. I think I did, but I have had a bit of a sore throat, so I wasn't 100% sure. But then I felt, when it was releasing, all this tingling going up the back of my neck, which I wasn't expecting to feel.
Yeah.
So something shifted there. Something definitely changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I chose chromium, and that felt my heart started racing a bit with that. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to share?
Sorry.
Claudia?
I think this one's going to need more time to process.
Is it still going, is it?
Oh, yeah. I chose poisoned. I've struggled my entire life with like certain allergies to food, stomach problems. No matter what I've eaten, I've been in pain. I've had eating disorders. It's been a constant thing, and I've done my own clearing and made a lot of peace with it, and just kind of, strict my diet and everything like that. And there's a lot of built up anger, like just coming up, and like emotions coming up from it. Because I think it's going to need a lot more time to process this one.
Yep. You can use the video again. And to pick a different one to help. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So thank you everybody for sharing. I'm just going to finish off now. I'm nearly out of time. So back to this. So there's a little taste of the divine healing. So are there any final questions from anybody before we complete about divine healing? Just to give you a direct experience of it. Was it pretty self-explanatory? Okay.
If we could do the full course, how long do we do it for, or does it depend on how quickly we work with it?
What do you mean? How long do we do it for?
Well, like the is it by coming to like the workshops that you do, or do you pace it on how much you do and at home, do you sort of mean, and then coming?
Let me explain how it works, okay?
Okay.
So there's a couple of ways you can actually receive this, okay? Besides this, you can just come for a session, private session, in person or on Zoom. Okay, that's 2 hours. We need 2 hours to do this by the time you get in and get out of it. We spent nearly an hour and 3/4 doing this. If you just want to receive it, that's at freeupyourlifewithdivinehealing.com. Or if you want to learn how to do this, so you can just work on yourself, which is more empowering, or work on others, you can come for the training, which is 24th, 27th of March. It's online and in person, also on Teams. So you get to learn in this case. We spend 4 days going through this manual. You get 4 days where we basically I teach you all of these charts here. Okay, and the way that works is that I explain what each one of them means, like I've done with some of them already. I do a demo if it's a complex chart. If it's a simple chart, I just do the whole chart on everyone in the class. Some are quite simple, some are very complex, very deep. And if it's a more complex one, I demonstrate on someone in the class. Then you go and practice on each other. So basically, you get a mass intensive healing process for 4 days, and you leave at the end being able to use it on yourself, so you can peel 70-80% of your programming by yourself without having to suffer anymore with it. You can clean it out. The other 20%, you need another practitioner or someone like me, experienced, to work on you to hold emotional space. So that's the other way to do it. So the 4-day intensive gives you a really powerful tool for working on yourself and others. And if you're already a healer, then you can use it on your clients. If you're not a healer, then you can, we have other programs to teach you how to create your own healing business as well. Then you've got a tool you can go and help others with. But the main reason I learned this was for myself, really. But then I also work on others because it just changed my life totally. Okay, so the training is the cost of about 6 hours of work with me, basically. So training is really the way to go if you're up for that, because you've got it permanently after that. and you can just use it whenever you want. And also you can do it when you want to do it. So it would actually run 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK time. So it means the Californians only have to get up at 4:30 rather than 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you're out in America. And in Europe, it runs from, that should actually be 1:30 to 9:30 p.m. in Europe, Central European time. So the deposit is £166 or about $225 for the deposit to secure your place. And the full cost is actually £490 or about $670. And it's under the divinehealingtraining.com. So, okay, that's the two ways you can do it: receive it or learn to do it yourself and work on yourself. And you get to know everyone in the class very well. And what happens is everyone practices on each other for quite a long time afterwards to learn how to use it all. And then they start using it on a real clients or out in the world, or just themselves. It just depends what you need, really. Lots of ways of using it. Any other questions, people, about that? Just switch your mic on and just fire away.
Are you gonna?
Sorry, Nicolas, but how do you know how many hours you need?
You don't, Irene. You can't figure this out. You just use it on an estimated basis. You might use it a couple times a week. You can't say it'll take me 50 hours or 10 hours to clear this issue, because
You have to go through all the.
you have to go through what? Can you repeat the question? Irene,
No, I was saying you have to go through all the subject in the list.
No.
Related to the issue you have.
No, you don't. You learn all the subjects. You learn all the 26 charts, but actually in practice, you might use 3 or 4 charts to clear a particular issue. You won't use them all, and it'll be in the order that the higher self decides. You don't have to figure it out. You just got to go with where the higher self direction. We teach you how to connect with that and use it.
Okay.
Claudia?
Are you going to write a book on this?
No, Almira, who created it's going to write the book, but when she gets some time to write it.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah. But actually, the true nature of this is really learning it to do it on yourself. But yeah, she's going to write a book eventually, probably, on this.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Yes, actually.
Mina.
Hi there. Yes. Because we live in London, it's actually going to Surrey is an option. So what is actually probably, does it matter whether it's on the internet or whether or not we go in person?
Be nice to see you in person. You can sit in my front room in the lounge, but there'll be a lot of computers and a lot of other people scattered from California to Slovakia, or sometimes people in Vietnam and Botswana. They're all over the place to come on the course. So it's usually pretty multicultural. But you're welcome to come. It's good to have real human beings in person. We can have tea and biscuits and walk in the back garden.
Okay.
It's a little more personal that way. But this has just grown, just the way this whole process has grown, it's turned into an online training because so many people want to work. You see, this is the only way to do it, and it's much cheaper than flying.
Yes, you're right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Anyone else got any questions? Jonathan, you're on mute. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's coming from a sort of cynical hat, but how on earth would you do this without, if you didn't have the program, if you didn't have the divine healing, how do you get these shifts?
You struggle through life, and sometimes some people make very little progress. Some people go backwards because our ego programming is so strong. You'd be, there are other healing tools out there, but this was designed to be as powerful and as fast as possible. And we decided to go for the best tools we could. Otherwise, if there was something better, we'd be doing that. Basically, you'd be in trouble if you don't have a self-healing tool if you're on the spiritual path. Because if you're not clearing the ego out, then higher self can't flow. And if that doesn't flow, life doesn't flow. This is about getting life to flow, really, and to wherever you want it to go. That's the whole point of it. And the ego will try and resist at all times anything that threatens it. That's the way it works. So it takes a lot of willpower to do this sort of work, to focus. And if you keep at it, eventually it will dissolve, and you'll still be there, and it won't. Okay, and it will tell you all sorts of lies and illusions about why you shouldn't do things, just to keep you separate, to keep you disconnected from source. Basically, that's its job. And our job is to break through that and reconnect, which is why this tool is here. Just take us home to source. But it's a very unique journey for each of us, the process of life. And this is about accelerating that process so we can have the experience of feeling separate and then getting back to oneness with source, God, all that is, whatever you want to call it, Great Spirit. That's actually the whole purpose of life. And this just accelerates that, makes it easier. So you don't have to suffer any more than necessary with whatever programming you carry. We all have our challenges. So, does that help? Anyone else got any questions, comments? Sarah, just last one before we go.
Hi, David. I'm wondering, one of my soul density number is 15. It says you need to listen to your stomach.
Yep.
It's always upset. So is it that I need to cleanse it? Is it already working? Is this technology telling me that everything I'm doing is wrong? Is the pain a good thing or a bad thing? How do I learn how to trust my stomach?
It just depends on what other subcontract numbers are running in your chart. You have to you can't look at it in isolation because they all interact with each other.
Okay.
Okay, and there could be other things, other programs running we're not aware of that are causing some of this. Mm-hmm. There's not always a simple answer in this case.
Okay.
Alrighty. Okay. Thank you everybody for total engagement, and hope you enjoyed that.
Right.
And I will email you all the YouTube video plus all the other guys. There are about 60, 70 people registered for this who couldn't make it, probably because of the time zone difference. Okay. And so enjoy, and hope you feel a little more conscious, a little clearer. Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.